Kabbalistic Solutions, which is my organization and is predicated on my beliefs, teachings, symbols, is a consultancy based in New York City. Today I'd like to just say a few words about flexible philosophy. The flexible philosophy is what predicates my entire belief system. It's because I do believe in an absolute that I have a flexible philosophy. How that absolute is applied is flexible, depending on who asks the question and what do they expect as an answer. From what stage and position they are in life. What level is their soul on? What is their own expectation? In a flexible philosophy, the answer must be predicated on the question and the questioner. Where is the questioner? And when he questions, on what level does his question come out? What words and emotions does he use? This is very important because there's no absolute. There's only difference, as Jacques Derrida used to say. And that difference is relative within the wordings of the questions. This is not much different than Talmudic analysis itself. And how the dialectic produces questioning and your level of response to that questioning, where you fit in. And you fit in depending on your reading and your soul level. On what level is your soul? What are you striving for? Do you feel that you're going to attain that all in one lifetime? Or do you believe in a reincarnation? I have certain predicates that you know from listening to my videos. I think this is Olam Haba. So my life and work is predicated on that. Even in Olam Haba, there will be an increase. You'll never stop. I don't believe that my personal life has a Gilgul. I think I'm only here for this amount of years. What makes it an Olam Haba and a continual life and is not my life itself. But I just told you is a very high level because the Ani has been negated, bittled into the ayin, same letters rearranged. That's a very high level of the ani. The ani as an I, as a 1, becomes an ayin, which is a 0. It loses its value and it gains everything, because in that simple transition of ani into ayin, you gain this perception that you're in Olam Haba, which is a perception. It's part of an emunah. They say you can, command emunah, but you really don't. The first commandment is really a knowledge of God, but not a belief in God. Emunah is more of a hush, sensation. You can't command a sensation. It's beyond the level of commandment. The highest aspects are always the not commanded. There's certain minhags, like wearing a hat. The minhags are higher than the commandments, because there's no proof for this. It's just what you do. This is all part of a flexible philosophy. How you're going to change dependent on how old you are, where you are in your station of life, what your experience has been, where you're going to travel to for your yehida. Is there a virtual reality? Does this type of internet explosion that we have, does that change our perception of self? These are all variables. And then depending on who asks the question, the answer is different. For the world champion bowler than the beginning bowler. He's experienced more things. He's gone through a different lifetime. And in my flexible philosophy, I answer differently depending on the station of life that your choo-choo train is on. This is a very high level, because there are no absolute answers. There are only relative answers. I wrote down a little phrase. Let me see if I have it here. There are no final answers, only provisional solutions. Let me repeat that, because I like that one. There are no final answers, only provisional solutions. And that's what a flexible philosophy, and that's what the flexible philosophy of Kabbalistic solutions is. If you're interested in this type of approach, I am. In my Yehidus answering in that domain. Your answer will be different than the other person's answer, who comes in with a similar question. Because it can't be the same question. It's like similar triangles. You're a different person. Similar triangles look alike, but they're different. So everything is different dependent on the time and space when the question is asked. There is never the same answer, because the world and energy has changed with the creation of a new day, or a new hour, or a new direction of the sun. Miles Davis once told me that a room used to change key when he used to play in B flat, and then 2 hours later his room, he came back maybe, and the room changed to a E flat. It wasn't that the song had to change key to sound good. That's what I call a flexible philosophy. A relative thing, not an absolute. The absolute is there, that the room changed. The flexible thing is, what did it change to? So there's only a flexible philosophy. That flexible philosophy is the absolute. So the absolute philosophy is the flexible philosophy. That philosophy will change dependent on what language the question is asked in, because the denotations and connotations change in each language. Like the word jouissance, to jouir in French, has no correspondence to any other language. Jouir, jouissance, is a French term dependent on France and French culture. Every language has these unique terms specific to the people and the question in that language. Real speech is to ask, maybe in 70 languages. Use a word and a verb from each language in your question. And that's how you can approach an absolute. The only absolute could be a flexible philosophy. You have the ability to change who you are because you wake up different every day. So if you're a new person every day, how can you hold on to the absolute you? The only absolute you is that you change every day to a different spark of your soul, depending on what level of that soul is emphasized in a particular day. Maybe the neshama, maybe on Shabbos for Chaya. Maybe on Yom Kippur you receive a Yehida. Different. How could it be the old you? How could you keep yourself the old you when you're changing all the time? When you're a traveler in psychic space? Judaism is that philosophy, is that religion as you grow deeper into it. The ever-changing, flexible philosophy. Different perceptions on different levels of reality. As one's body changes, as one's everything changes. So this is my introduction to flexible philosophy. And we'll go from here.